also feel like they're looking way too much into week 1 of the preseason. It is crazy to me, the reaction of some of the things I read. It's incredible.
I think, we all got to remember that this is as much hype as we've ever seen, which brings on such a variety of new and different people to our realm of fandom that we haven't been used to, because it's usually just miserable or optimistic.
Right.
I mean, that's what we've known.
Yeah.
Basically our whole lives.
Yeah.
You're either miserable out the Lions or you're super optimistic, and a lot of the times you're both.
Right.
I'm optimistically miserable. Yes.
Yeah.
So as we said at the beginning of the episode, we're doing the college football season previews for Michigan teams. This week we have the Michigan State Spartans, and
Go green.
Go white.
This is gonna be one of those weeks where I have like a little bit, but it's gonna be on you guys.
Well, I hardly have anything ever, so
which is
we'll see what we got.
Yeah. Would you rather smell like BO and be topless, or meet them bottomless?
So they're gonna smell BO either way.
Oh no.
Welcome to episode 13 of the BDE Sports Talk podcast. I'm Bill, one of your co-hosts, along with brothers and co-hosts, the D and E of the BDE, Dean and Eddie. Fellas, what's shaking bacon?
I wish I had a good response for that. We're just gonna go good.
Just eggs and sausage, dog. Let's do this breakfast. Let's do it right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Every week I'm getting a little happier,
Really? Because I can see the depression in your face.
No, that's me.
Oh yeah. No. I'm looking at the
wrong camera.
Yeah, sorry. It's the depression in my eyes.
Nice.
We'll look.
Love that.
Yeah. It's gonna be episode 50, and he's just gonna be like, that was a cry for help.
Just dark circles around my eyes. Just like doing good. You guessed it, golf again.
Dude, it's February. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was out there in the snow. My life is so much fun. It's so fulfilling.
Hey, so
anyway, great episode tonight, huh?
We're kicking it off strong. We had a breakfast reference, didn't we, Bill?
Yeah.
This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp.com. On today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the Pistons and Tigers, just a little bit, and then we are going to get into a little review of the Lions preseason game from Friday, and we are then going to get into week 4 of our college series for Michigan teams. I like to call it a series, so we can look back on this in 2 years and be like, that first series was sick.
You think that's what we'll say?
Who knows? I mean, we had two. We've had 2 good guests on, so can't.
Oh,
can't
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's true.
So we'll get into the East Lansing Spartans this week, and then we'll do some would you rather the Michigan State Spartans. I forgot to wear my gear this week. Sorry.
Shut up, turd. Let's get to the episode.
Well, before we get to the episode, just want to say if you are listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, thank you for listening or watching. Feel free to hit the like button. If you don't like today's episode, comment and let us know what you don't like.
Hit the like button anyway.
Yeah, you know.
Even if you hated it. I mean, it's just one time. Is it going to hurt you? Is it going to kill you? Hit it one time? Come on.
Look at Dean's eyes.
Look at sadder by the day.
Hit the like button.
Please hit the like
Cost you
button.
nothing. Tell a young man out.
Well, you're at to subscribe as well. You know,
I mean, what's that going to hurt
you? At this point,
I am 31 years old.
You might save a life, for crying out loud. Just subscribe, damn it.
Please.
We know you're there. Just subscribe.
We're on the road to 50 subscribers, guys.
Yeah.
On the road to 50.
The
On the
milestone.
road to 50.
Smooth sailing after that.
Yeah.
It's part of your series. Is this the good part of the series?
This is the best part. So, again, thank you to everyone.
Woo.
So, with that said, Dean, how was your weekend?
It was good. I played golf again, but I didn't play that bad. I played with Bill. I shot under 100, so I was pretty happy with that.
Wait, did you guys go to Cedar Creek? Where was that?
Yeah, Cedar Creek.
Went to Cedar Creek. Played from the blue tees. Because I'm just too strong. So figured, I'm gonna even it up for Bill. But I also watched. I was telling Bill about this earlier, but I watched this movie over the weekend called "The Deepest Breath." It's the most anxiety-filled movie I've ever seen, or documentary I've ever seen in my entire friggin' life, man. It's these
Are you
people that.
Are you sure
Is this from the family video adult section?
No, it's about free
You had to go behind the
divers.
curtain to get this bad boy.
Let's just say I'm pulling a TV up to the tub.
Sports talk. All right, that's it. That's as good as the episode's gonna get.
Are you sure? Are you sure it said breath and not throat? Or
It's about so it's about free divers that dive that go for record breaking dives in the ocean, and after a certain point, after they hit 30 meters deep, they don't even have to swim anymore. The pressure just pushes them down. So by the time they get to 100 meters, it's just pitch black, and then they got to turn around. And that's when the hard part starts. They got to climb their way back up through 100 meters of water after holding their breath for 2.5 minutes. And then they come up, and their eyes are rolled up in the back. They're like, oh my gosh, it was oh my God. Yeah. They call it blackout. So it happens all the time. It's all right. And it looks like they're about to die.
Just another Saturday night for Dean, huh?
And then they'll snap them out of it. And then they're like, how'd I do? And they're like, not good. They're like, all right, I'll do it again. It's like, what? You crazy bastards.
Dude, that is nuts.
It's insane. It had my heart pumping. It was just
it's super anxiety situation.
Yeah. Watching it. It was a good series. I will say though. It was a good documentary, but it was intense.
What's it on?
Netflix. Not a sponsor.
all right. Well, Ed, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good, man. Obviously, Saturday they were hanging out with you. Sunday, the day after, went to the park. They were pretty gassed from the day prior. But the summer
Wore
kind
'em
of
down.
ended. Dude, they were gassed, dude. Like Aiden wanted to take a nap as soon as we got home. John took like a nap at like 2:30 in the afternoon. It was wild. But I still took him out to the, park, later after dinner, and we played some ball and whatever. And then Monday is like the summer is kind of over because Aiden's in full football practice. John's just started, doing soccer stuff. And so like now we're just into, school might as well be going now because we're busy every day of the week. Something that crossed my mind because I was listening to our last week's episode, and you were saying originally you were feeling kind of oozy, Bill.
Yep.
And it made me think obviously of, Jey Uso, because the big situation for SummerSlam into SmackDown last week. He goes main event Jey Uso, and I was going to call you main event Bill Uso, but I'm like, Bill is not a great name to like play off of for like a WWE nickname. You have to go like old timey kind of stuff. It's just too old school of a name. You have to be like Brawler Bill,
Cowboy Bill,
with like a twirly mustache or something, or like
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill, Booty Bandit Bill. You had Bill Goldberg at one time, but he's hardcore and he only went by Goldberg.
Yeah.
It was like even him was like, yeah, I got to drop the bill, But I don't know. It just crossed my mind. I'm like, man, Bill's kind of an old timey kind of name, or it's getting there. You don't hear any young kids named Bill. Eventually, it'll be cool to like a hipster, and then it'll take off again. But I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I just
the last of my breed.
Dean. You could go Dangerous Dean, the Dean of Dominance.
It's Dean the B all the time.
Dean the B.
It's the B. Come on now.
There's been enough famous Eddies to where I can get by. Fast Eddie. People call me Eddie Money. You can do any of that stuff. But Bill?
We call you Eddie Guerrero.
You just don't get that very often.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't. That's what makes it so different. So yeah, you can call me main event Bill Uso.
Main event Bill Uso. That none of that goes together.
It goes perfect together to me. So it's so smooth.
It's funny.
So my weekend was with your kiddos and Charlie, and we went to Michigan Adventure, and it was a good time. Kids were well behaved.
That's right.
There was a part during the day where I went into the bathroom, and this is why
all the kids in the stall with him.
Make Aiden watch you take a poop.
I gave them all phones.
The kid's damn near 14. All right, he can stand outside the stall. You're like, Aiden, get in here.
Get in here. Can't be alone.
Oh. He'd be like, that's so mid, bro.
Yeah. That's totes not bussin', bro.
You're being too sweats, man.
Yeah, man. No cap, this ain't bussin'.
No cap.
So, no, but the bathroom. I don't know how many more times I'm gonna go to Michigan Adventure. I just don't.
Really?
Oh goodness, dude. Like,
I was thinking about buying a pass for next year.
It's fine if the park was so crowded. Like, it was ridiculously crowded that day. And so we went in the bathroom and I'm washing my hands, and all of a sudden I look behind me, and the little drains like on the floor?
Yeah.
They started coming up with water. and like would go back down, come up with water, and then it, like that butane smell, like if someone like stuck their butt in your face and just farted. It was so gross. I almost puked. It smelled so bad. And
Well,
then
you
the
dude, they're
water
getting
park-
close to the
water
end
park-
of the season. They probably
Tanks are
haven't
getting
cleaned out
full.
them tanks, baby. You know, they're just trying to finish out
it was
August here.
We're
disgusting.
just trying to make it through.
And yeah, the water park was so I don't know. 2 parks for the price of 1, twice the fun is not not for me. Not, and I rode
You-
Shivering
uh,
Timbers.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No.
Oh, I rode Shivering Timbers, and you remember when we rode it like 20 something times in one day, right?
Yeah.
It was awesome. I rode
Yeah.
that thing one time, and that thing either I'm just too old. I don't think I'm too old, but it needs to improve. We went down the first hill, and it wasn't like a whoosh, it was a douche. Just like it felt like you hit the bottom, and I hurt. I hurt after that. Oh, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah, Aiden even said it was rough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing
It
was
was-
like 10 years old when I was 10 years old.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that
it's-
thing's got to be 30 plus
it's getting there. It's like 25 years old, I think,
for a
So-
wooden coaster.
with probably no real like renovations or upgrades to it. They're just like, you know what? You know what? It ain't that high. So
It's not that high.
They're just putting
yeah.
new stain on it every 3 years.
yeah, exactly. Look, new wood.
Oh, look at that.
So, I mean, it was a fun day. It was just there was a lot of people. The last time we went there, when I went with Charlie, it wasn't. There was maybe half the people there. So, Kate said she talked to somebody that was there, and she said the day before it was like night and day. They said there was barely anybody there. So, I don't know.
That's how it
Just
goes.
don't go on a Saturday in August, I guess.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, right before school starts.
right. Yeah, trying to get that
So-
last trip in.
So, anyways, we will get into Tigers baseball. What little we have. We got about a month and a half left of the season. Month and a half left of Miggy. I know we've kind of talked about and kind of reflected on his time in Detroit already. He is batting 254, getting closer.
Hey,
man.
I have that in all
He-
caps in my notes.
you know, that's the kind of guy he is, man. That's how good he is. That he can still do that.
Yeah,
You could say-
at 40 years old.
40 years old,
yeah.
clearly not in
Right.
what would be a prime baseball shape.
Yeah.
It just speaks to the natural talent and the talent he worked on over the years. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Definitely not going to make the playoffs at this point, I don't think. 8 back.
what?
They've got pieces, that
Yeah,
they
one-
could try to build around or trade and try to get a lot in return. But it's tough because they are young enough to keep going and just see where they end up. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, these guys might not end up being anything, Some of them, obviously, there's a couple guys that you're like, all right, yeah, like, Riley Green or Kerry Carpenter has been playing really well this year. I mean, yeah, they've got some pieces they could build on. I mean, once that cap opens up, we'll see what they do, if they do anything. Or like you said, to get Illich to spend that money. I mean, who knows? We'll find out if he's willing to spend any type of money going into next year.
It's just, the cap opening up. The cap's open. It's already open. Even with Miggy's contract, the cap's open.
I do realize that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but now it's the push for Ohtani. That's the.
Oh yeah.
Come back home, Ohtani. Come home.
Look, yeah.
We love you in Detroit.
If Illich is going to be cheap, you hope that Scott Harris is the perfect guy, coming from San Francisco, where they did a great job of generation. I mean, it seems like every few years, they made the playoffs, or for a while there, they won the World Series like every second or third year or something like that. They just kept bringing guys through.
Yeah.
You hope it's like that. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm just kind of hoping to see maybe some of the young guys get a shot at the end of the season, because obviously they might get a shot at the end of the season because they don't want them to accrue a year of MLB service so they can keep them under contract longer. Like Colt Keith, Jace Jung, Justin Henry Malloy, Parker Meadows. Just want to see what those guys got. See if they can do it up here. I'm not even talking about the guy we traded for. How something here. I should have wrote his name down. I looked at it, but I'm like, why bring him up? He's like 20. I mean, the guys I listed off are 22, 23-year-old guys. So it's time they get a few swings at MLB level. We'll see where they're at, see what we have to build around, and hopefully Scott Harris has got an eye for what we're looking for in the offseason. I mean, the pitching's there if it's healthy.
Yeah.
With all those guys. I mean, a lot of young guys. The cap space is going to definitely be there. Like I said, a while back, I just hope we can at least spend as much as we spent this year. Right. And that still puts us well under the 8 ball of the average in MLB, which is sad because there was a minute there where we were spending heavy during the Dombrowski, Mike Illich years.
Right.
And we were towards the best in baseball. And there's a reason those things correlate most of the time. Not every time, but most of the time. Like you saw the Mets this year, they imploded huge and they had an enormous, spending number. But, they had to get rid of some guys. Most notably a couple of ex-Tigers. But they unloaded those guys. And I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't guarantee success, but I can tell you it's pretty rare that a team that doesn't spend at least league average will win the World Series.
Right.
Not wrong.
How about Lorenzen pitching a no-hitter?
Good for him, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good for him, man. That's sweet. I know, at first when you see it, when he's gone, you're like, but then it's like, I mean, we weren't doing anything with it anyway. Why waste it on us?
Right.
His no-hitter would have done nothing for us. What we'd be 7.5 back instead of 8.
Right.
Minnesota's finally got their legs under them. They're got a winning record. We're not going to have a winning record.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching and Javi Baez got his first bunt hit in like 3 years. And everybody was so happy that he finally got a hit on something. Everybody stood up and clapped for him. It was insane. It was like, that guy needs to go.
That's what $20 million gets you, buddy.
Dude,
a standing O for a bunt.
It was like, and he stood on first base and he was like, like, what are you doing? Like, it was a good time to get that hit, but like
now he's on the bereavement list. So
awesome. Yeah, he's got to go.
I mean, how do you get rid of him?
Right. Just eat the contract and just let him go at this point.
I mean, honestly,
he's only hurting you.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point in saving him on your roster, but if you got to pay him, I mean, me personally, that's just me. I don't know how it all ends up working out. Right. So I'd be like, put him in AAA.
Yeah.
I mean, we're paying him.
I was going to say,
might as well let him play for the Mudhens and then bring up some young guys.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing better. We're not
most expensive AAA player.
I'm sure. I'm sure they don't want him down there either.
No. They don't. No, because I mean, the whole point of having that is to bring up young guys and let them get PT and get all that, or to rehab guys that are coming back from whatever.
I will say that, I mean, he's not bad defensively. I mean, it's all his bad.
But he's worse defensively than he's been too.
You're not wrong about that. But that's unfortunately the only plus side right now to having Javi Baez on the team. This is not like a Brandon Inge situation where we're like, well, I mean, he's really good on defense.
I'm gonna look.
I mean, he's good. What?
I'm gonna look
Brandon
that
Inge?
up for the next episode. What his defensive rating numbers are?
I'm sure it's not.
Because
good.
I
know.
I mean, it's probably positive, but I bet it's not that far positive.
I know he's only committed 2 errors this year. I know that much, which isn't bad.
Well, you don't have to commit error if you don't try to get the ball.
Exactly. That's why he's so good defensively.
I'm not putting that on him. I'm not putting that on him. I'm just saying. I'm curious to see what some unbiased
I am too.
Statistics are. So I'm going to check it out, see if I can find something. But, I'm sure all the people will be on pins and needles waiting to hear Javi Baez fielding stats next week. But I am curious. I mean, that'll be a quick thing.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit of Pistons news. Caden Duran were selected for select team for the USA basketball scrimmage. Both healthy Cade showed out, which is nice. Which is nice to see. I mean, man, future's bright if he stays healthy, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, no doubt. I mean, they used him as a Luka clone.
Yeah.
I mean, he does play like Luka when he's healthy.
Yeah.
If he can give us 82 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Not super fast. Make good decisions with the ball. Pretty good shooters.
Yeah.
I mean.
You use your body, you know what I mean?
Yeah, big body guys. Except Cade's in better shape. Like, he could be in better shape Luka.
I was say, Luka's
that's
in
his
good
potential
shape right now. Yeah.
Right
Luka's
now. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's usually been the big dig on that guy.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But nobody's ever said, hey, Cade's not in shape.
Right.
Maybe
he could be a better Luka potentially. He just can't stay on the court.
Right.
So, he's just malnourished, that's all. He's a vegan.
So
no, like that matters. It doesn't matter, but
yeah. So if say the core stays somewhat healthy, there's always injuries for the year.
Sure.
Over under 37 wins.
Under.
Yeah, I would say under,
under.
just because their injuries are so uncertain especially with Cade, and he's going to be a big part of if they win at all this year, I think.
I'm going to tell you, if the core is healthy all season, that wouldn't surprise me to hit that number and higher. But, I mean, when you break it down, it's like it's hard to make up 20 wins in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping they can get to 30.
Yeah.
Like 30 would be great. Maybe something happens. Maybe they start out hot and they can maybe make a trade for a piece or something like that and make a move. I mean, that would be something. But in general, with what they got, 37 is tough to say over just because they only won 17 last year. But granted, Cade's out. And if Cade can do what he's capable of doing for a full season for 82 games, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there's reports that they're putting old Beef Stew and Duran as the starting front court. Did you guys see that?
Did not, but I expected it.
That's the talks. It makes sense to start out. I mean, obviously you want Asar to be the guy right away, and you could play Bojan. But then again, Bojan's defense is pretty rough at times. So I get it. It's better than playing like we talked about before in one of those lineups, a Wiseman Duran lineup. Like I said, then you might as well, you're better off playing beef stew, just based on the variety of offense and defense that you're getting from your 4 spot. So it's not identical. Plus, a more athletic person to guard the 4. But then you have Bojan 3, obviously. Caden Ivey locked down 1 and 2. So I don't know. I didn't know if you guys saw that. I thought you guys would bring that up to me, honestly, because of beef stew in the starting lineup. It is what it is. I don't think that's obviously I don't feel like that's a long-term answer. It's good to start the season. And honestly, beef stew and Duran played pretty well together. He just shouldn't start, okay? Like, in general, he shouldn't be a starter. He's not a starting guy until he becomes one, for definitely. And then I'm whatever. But
he's like, I got all my inspiration from this BD Sports Talk podcast.
I'll tell you what, I would take that 1,000 days in a row.
He's shooting 45%
I would love that
from 3. And we're like, it's like, develop that.
If I could inspire any Detroit sports athlete to do anything better than what they're doing, whether they hate me or not, that'd be worth it.
It's fair.
That's awesome. That'd be so fun.
That would be.
He developed his shot.
It would hurt a little if Beef Stew like hated me and he was like crushing it and he just hated my freaking guts. Like, that would hurt a lot.
He's like, yeah, I'll come on the podcast, but the E's got to be gone.
Oh,
like, ouch.
Hey, I would tell him the same stuff I've said before.
Yeah,
until he does different.
I was gonna say it's warranted. It's not warranted.
Yeah, for sure. It's just funny.
It is hilarious.
It's kind of funny.
Because I agree. I just like giving you crap for it.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, from one Detroit team to the next, Friday night, Lions won 21-16. Nate Sudfeld, real quick, I'll do some quick stats for everybody that I don't know if they even want to know, but Nate Sudfeld, 15 of 28 for 194 and 2 interceptions. Adrian Martinez, 4 for 7 with 37 yards passing and 1 rushing touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had 6 carries for 19 yards. Chase Cota was kind of the man of the night, huh? 4 catches, 60 yards. And JMO with 2 catches for 18 yards and that sweet 2-point conversion. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'll just say it for all of us. Sudfeld's going to be cut, right?
Yeah. It's pretty unfortunate because I really do think he was trying to give the receivers a shot at the ball, and he did. He gave them all the chances that they could have, but unfortunately, I think he hurt himself in that process. I mean, he was throwing up some pretty nice balls that got dropped as well, like that one to Drummond in the end zone, and then there's a couple other ones. But I mean, he definitely hurt his own case, but maybe helped a couple other guys like Cota. I mean, like you said, he was somewhat the man of the night, and I don't even think he might not even make the team. You know what I mean? And same with Drummond. I mean, he dropped that one pass in the end zone, which, I mean, I think it's going to come down to nitpicking for depth receivers. Because in the end, everybody played pretty well in that. Whoever played,
Right.
I mean, Alexander ran that punt back. I mean, he's going to make a case to be the returner, possibly. Coda had a good night. Even Antoine Green had a couple of catches. I mean, James Mitchell looked good.
Yeah.
And these are all the backups. You know what I mean? I'm just like, man,
right. Going against the other backups too.
Given, yeah. Right. No, 100%. But yeah, no, Nate, I appreciated what he tried to do for a lot of those young receivers, but he's definitely not going to make the cut.
So for me, the first interception I can let go, right? Mm-hmm. First play of the game, new season, your job's on the line because they signed Teddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can let that go. But that second interception, I literally paused it to see how many guys were in that area.
Those are rough.
You know what I mean? And I mean, one of them was not really in the area, but he kind of was. But there were still 4 other dudes there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a crowd.
I mean, it didn't.
But you expect that out of Nate Sudfeld, I would think, right?
Right. Well, and I mean, Dean, we talked about this a little bit with JMO not like laying out for balls and whatnot, which we're going to get into in a minute. But it's week 1 of the preseason. I don't want him. I mean, I get it, but when you know that you're going to be not cut, right? You're making the team and you're one of your star players. Like if I'm Dan Campbell, I don't know if I want him laying out for that ball. Especially the second one was him too, right? That second interception, he was trying to throw it into him. With the one with 4, I think there
was so many guys around it.
Yeah, and I mean, he catches that ball, 4 dudes are gonna smoke him. If he goes up for that.
I think he got rocked anyway. Yeah, I think he tried to go up for it, but I think he just got smashed.
So, I mean, you're right. I mean, that kind of is what you expect from someone like Sudfeld. So, I mean, I can see them not cutting him just based on his relationship with Goff and his knowledge of the playbook if they want to keep a third quarterback.
Yeah, because I watched an interview earlier where Bridgewater was like, feels like my spirit belongs here and stuff like that, mostly because of Dan. And I mean, even like they showed him throw a couple of balls in practice. He threw a touchdown to JMO in practice. I mean, he already looks better than Nate Sudfeld. It's like, I would be way comfortable with him coming into the game for sure. I mean,
yeah,
he's a game manager, it's generally what Goff is to us as well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Goff's better, but doesn't hurt to have a happy Teddy Bridgewater is definitely a good thing to have.
Yeah, right. No doubt, man. I mean, Sudfeld looked rough to me. I mean, I know you're saying he's trying to work it into those young receivers, but if you're fighting for your job, you got to make the right decisions. Right. It's not about the young guys. It's a dog eat dog business. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Sudfeld would only save his job by completing passes and moving the ball down the field, or and I thought it was interesting because I'd mentioned before, this would be the 3rd time, what Ben Johnson likes in a backup quarterback. And you're talking about 2-minute drill. He had an opportunity there. He didn't do very well. He threw some both the interceptions were bad. I know it's the first play of the game. You want to cut him a break because he wants to go deep to JMO, but that also wasn't it. That wasn't the play. I know that's what you want to do, play one, but you don't just throw it up just to throw it up either because it's the first play.
Right.
You look at it, and then if it's not there, it's not there, and you got to either take that sack or check it down. And that's what he should have done, because that's what they'll want to keep as opposed to dude who might just chuck it. And he didn't even go that far. I mean, that was rough. And I know it's hard to keep up with JMO because the dude's lightning.
He's fast.
Yeah, but in the same instance for that, you have to. I mean, Goff goes down. you've got you've got to get those balls to JMO. You know what I mean?
I mean, don't we question whether Goff gets those to him in stride
Yeah,
as it is?
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to see
speaking
it.
of right, while we're on the subject of JMO, overreaction from fans a little bit. Agree? Disagree?
People dogging him?
Yeah.
Why are they dogging him?
For the exact same things I said.
Oh, for diving.
For him not going for the ball, alligator arming it, dropping it. You know, and I get it. You want him to be good, right? And I feel like he's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
The kid, he's only what, 21 years old, 20 years old,
something like that. Yeah.
You know, still adjusting. I don't know. I just think that Lions fans, and I'm not saying all of them, but half the fan base just wants something to just be upset about. You know what I mean?
Nitpicking stuff now because there's not a whole roster to nitpick anymore. You know what I mean? So now you're just trying to find.
Well, sure. Niches. I think it's a combo of, you know, the fans that have been around a long time, some that are just you're sour to sour. We all know them, right? They're just they're miserable because they're miserable, but they watch every game anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's new fans who just don't know. Yeah. Like, he's supposed to be really good and catch all the passes. You know, so they just don't.
Yeah.
They don't know.
No.
Right.
Not like us. Football studs.
I will say though, it was kind of cool to see Jameson Williams out there playing for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then if you watch his interview afterwards, he looked like legitimately happy. Like for the first time I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen him smile before, but he was like legitimately happy just to be out there and playing, even though he wasn't like the main target all day long. You know what I mean? Because other guys had more shots than he did, but he was out there, and I think that's really all he wants.
I hadn't seen him smile as much in the last 3 days as I had since he's been in Detroit.
Yeah,
played in that preseason, and then there was interview after practice yesterday, maybe when St. Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean
St. Brown are tight now. Hey
man, if St. Brown rise in and he's cool with him like that, I'm cool with him like that.
Make him the moon, make him the moon god.
You know? Yeah. Hey man, whatever I'm on Raw thinks is cool, I think it's cool too. You know,
they just listen to Day and Night all the time together.
Day and Night.
What?
So with us talking about overreaction from fans, I mean, we obviously see social media. I also feel like they're looking way too much into week 1 of the preseason. It is crazy to me, the reaction of some of the things I read. It's incredible. Like, oh, I thought this team was supposed to be good. What are you talking about?
I think.
Well, that just means they lack depth. Oh, okay.
I think, you know, we all got to remember that this is as much hype as we've ever seen, which brings on such a variety of new and different people to our realm of fandom that we haven't been used to, because it's usually just miserable or optimistic. Right. I mean, that's what we've known.
Yeah.
Basically our whole lives.
Yeah.
You're either miserable out the Lions or you're super optimistic, and a lot of the times you're both. You know, I'm optimistically miserable. Yes.
Yeah. You're like, they might win this Sunday, and then they lose, and you're like, yeah.
So I think we see that, you know, and first preseason game. I mean, how often are that many people attend a preseason game live?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so you know, you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. I mean, I found myself looking into stuff a little bit more just because. I mean, maybe it's because we're talking about it that made me think about it a little bit more. But I also realize when I talk about it that it's just been one preseason game truly means not much at all.
No.
Like a little bit for guys that are trying to make the roster. And that's about it. As
It was
far
all
as
for
the
second
team,
and third stringers,
Panay
yeah.
Sewell was holding his kid on the sidelines, for crying out loud. I mean, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Right.
You know?
Malachi, bro.
Malachi,
Feature
look
linebacker.
at you dropping some Sewell knowledge.
I saw that a couple.
That's
No,
a super
I
fan.
I agree.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna say the same thing.
I will say who I was thoroughly impressed by was Jack Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He looked and him and Brian Branch. I mean,
Of course.
Yeah.
you know, it just not gonna look too much into it because it wasn't starters, but at the same time, just to see them make good football plays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really nice to see. It just makes me look forward to watching them continue to develop and grow. Linebackers played great. Defense actually played pretty good. The front seven, I would say, the front seven played really well.
Secondary still felt a little, but once again, it was all the second stringers. I mean, you had Brian Branch out there for like half a quarter or something like that.
That's a starter.
Right. But
that dude's going to be a starter.
That was about the only real weak point I saw too, was
Brian Branch.
Yeah, Brian Branch was the only weak point in the entire No, but like you
thought
said,
he'd be better.
Jack Campbell really was impressed. I mean, I'm sure you saw where he shifted the D line over. He's just,
of course,
he's already that Brian Urlacher type of guy, like potentially that could run the defense and be that guy in the middle. That'd be, oh man, I don't think, have we ever had a middle linebacker that could control the defense like that? Besides maybe we had Larry Foote for a little bit.
I'd say
Paris Lennon.
I'd say maybe Stephen Tulloch did pretty well.
Stephen Tulloch. That was probably
that's
our best
exactly what I was
linebacker.
going to go to.
Yeah, Stephen Tulloch.
In recent times.
Yeah.
Stephen Tulloch for sure. Obviously, if you go back, you can go back and get some guys. But
Right.
front office guy Chris Spielman. Obviously, you want to go back. But as far as recent memory, Stephen Tulloch was definitely he's somebody I really looked up to for a while. I noticed Campbell right away. That's something I pay attention to right away when I watch games. I watched linebacker play pretty closely, and then I saw, I don't know, maybe it was a TikTok or some other video of them going through, and I'm like, that's what I was thinking. He was somebody I was super interested in watching, and I usually watch it. I was impressed with Derek Barnes at the beginning.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, nice freaking job, dude. He's starting to get it. I hope.
Yeah,
it's first preseason game.
I think he is
preseason game.
As we crap on people who give it too much, we also have to dial it back on our end. When you look good doing it too.
Well, also, I mean, to your point though, I mean, the coaches have raved about him all off season. So
it showed.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Barnes, our fifth highest. I like PFF grades because they're non-biased, just grading systems. Now they're not perfect. They don't describe everything. Like Brian Branch had a 76.7. He wasn't even in our top 10 defensive PFF graded guys. But if you watched, you're like, that kid's freaking got it.
He started it off with a bang. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, the kid's got it, dude. I mean, he just does. That's a guy to be excited about. I mean, big time. And you see all these other videos, guys talking about, well, they're backing off on the criticism of those draft picks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the first four guys are starters. Now, granted, and here's the opposite end of that, being excited for Brian Branch. Sam Laporta had he was the lowest PFF graded player on our offense.
Right.
but he had one target.
Right.
And
Right.
He's
he
mostly used
dropped
for
the-
blocking and stuff.
dropped the one catch.
Right.
And like they said in the broadcast, he's got to get used to that kind of coverage. When you're in
Yeah.
college like that at Iowa, you're going to beat those guys and they're not going to be swiping at you. You're going to catch it and you're going to get tackled. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then in the NFL, they're hitting it while you're trying to catch it. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And once he gets there, he was in the right spot for the play. He's not playing with Goff. He's not playing with the starting unit right then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
But all four of those guys being starters is like, I don't know how you can criticize a draft if you get your first four picks as starters.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something we haven't seen out of a linebacker in a while in Detroit is when Jack Campbell dude can freaking cover people. And that's huge. We haven't had that ever.
I mean,
Except
honestly,
last year Rodriguez did a little bit, but
the way they played, if they're going to play with the two linebacker set, it's hard not to be like Campbell and Barnes.
Right.
Rodrigo did well too.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Too, yeah.
He's not like, if Barnes is on top of his game, he's not Barnes. If Campbell, he's not Campbell.
Right.
He's good.
Right.
These guys can be like really good.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. So love the guy. Love Rodrigo. Happy when he's in. I couldn't be upset if he's playing. That being said,
I think we'll see him play quite a bit.
Oh, he's going to play.
They're going to rotate him nice and fresh. Oh, man. And not a huge drop off of talent when you rotate him in. That's going to be huge.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. James Houston looked great. I mean, again, second team, whatever. But I mean, he was. You can tell there's been an off season with him. You know what I mean? Even just not even because it was second teamers, just the way he was coming in on those pass rushes. It was, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be exciting to see when everyone's playing in week one. You know what I mean? It's just, and obviously you can put a little bit of stock into these three games, but at the same time, it's like you're looking to see who's going to be 51, 52, and 53. So
sure.
Side notes, real quick, was Aquaras. Both Aquaras played pretty well. The thing, my thing though was watching Romeo play, and he was, and then it was late third quarter, fourth quarter. He's in there.
He got that sack.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, this dude is. He's a star, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're a star. You're a starter. You don't need to be out there with the third teamers.
I mean, Julian
get those reps in.
Julian looked great too. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean,
maybe he's going to do what Romeo did in a contract year.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we've been counting him as the odd man out, right? But do they just take 6 DNs into the season?
I mean, Kaminsky looked better than both of those guys, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Hutch didn't play. Houston looked better than those guys. Romeo's going to make it, probably, just based on his history in the league. I mean, if there's an odd man out on the guys we mentioned, it's Julian, even if he looks good.
Yeah, right. I know. There's going to be somebody that gets cut from this team that's, I think, is going to produce somewhere else. Which is a good problem to have, right? I mean,
yeah, dude. No
that's a fantastic problem to have. I'm just jealous. Yeah, I'm just jealous somebody else will get to reap the benefits. It's usually us for picking up the scrubs on the side.
They'll go somewhere and win a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like Cliff That's going to go. They'll probably go to Minnesota and then make the sack to make us lose the division or something, See, that's my Lions.
He'll go to the
scars
Bears.
Coming out. Don't say the Bears. I mean, at least.
No, so that way they can do the brother on brother thing, the St. Browns versus the Aquaras.
And we got the better Aquaras and Browns.
We have the better of Aquaras and Browns. Well, maybe Julian could. I think Julian has the potential. If he can stay healthy, I think he has the potential to be really good.
Potential. Yeah. One guy this is the last one that I mentioned last week that is worth mentioning, I think, is Colby Sorsdahl, who ended up playing 37 snaps, had a 66.7 PFF grade, which is pretty good. I mean, for him, I think they have the starter level, the bottom of the starter level in the PFF grade is like a 70, 66.7, a William and Mary kid making his first preseason game.
Yeah.
So that was promising to me. I mean, it's offensive guard. So, I
was going to say your boy Sorsdahl got out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not going to blow your socks off as long as he's not letting anything terrible happen. It's all right. Like,
yeah.
But again, he is playing against second, third string guys, but that's probably better competition than he saw in college already.
By far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, happy to see.
What we should do is the episode before cut day, we should look through the roster and see who we think is not going to make it.
Yeah.
Or who does make it. I guess you can do either one. Just a little thought. Just a little tease. So, I have a hot take, and I don't know if it's that much of a hot take, but Will Harris sucks. I don't think
he graded low too.
Yeah, because he's not good.
Hey man, one preseason game. Remember that. We talked about that early. He played pretty well in backup when the games mattered before. Not great, but if he's your third or fourth guy, corner,
I don't think he's getting the cut. Chase Lucas.
That's okay. You don't hope that he has to come in, but if you got to pull somebody in that's your top 2 or 3 starters have gone down. Well, who else you gonna get in there, man?
I don't know. Someone else who gets cut. It's about the same.
No, he had a rough first preseason. Why don't you give it one more preseason game before you cut Will Harris? All right.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Because he's played pretty good in real games.
He'd be
not like amazing, but good enough.
Will Harris or Alfonso Smith? You pick.
Will Harris.
Would you rather?
Every day. Yeah, would you rather?
Yeah. What a disappointment that guy was.
So anyway, that's my hot take. It's nothing against Will Harris. It's not, I don't know him.
That's hot enough.
I was just basing off what my own eyes saw.
Mm-hmm. He played bad. And here's the thing. Alexander got a lot of praise. If he hadn't returned that punt return touchdown, he did not do very well.
No, I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
I mean, that punt return was sweet, but outside of that.
I mean, Khalif Raymond can return our punts.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I don't know. I don't want to hate on him. I mean, he's giving it a go. Dylan Drummond also underimpressed for how much talk he got coming out of. Now, granted, he's only there because of like the local pro day they had, and then he's got a good story going, but targeted 4 times, 2 catches, 12 yards.
So you don't think Coda or Drummond make the team?
One of them will. One of those guys will make the team. It's one preseason game, so we'll see. But Drummond's been the guy so far. They had one preseason game, and Chase Cota was better. So we'll see. But if Cota keeps showing up when it's game time, then you got to go with the guy who shows up when it's game time. Practice is great, but
and he has a cousin on the team. Heard that about 8 times.
We're just getting all the family members together and putting them on one squad.
A couple family members at MSU.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. We'll go right into that bad boy. So, so as we said at the beginning of the episode, we're doing the college football season previews for Michigan teams. This week we have the Michigan State Spartans, and
Go green.
Go white.
this is gonna be one of those weeks where I have like a little bit, but it's gonna be on you guys.
Well, I hardly have anything ever, so
which is
we'll see what we got.
Yeah. If you want, I can go first. I'm pretty much just gonna say what I said pretty much before. I have them at 7-5. I got them losing to Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, and Penn State. I'm probably being generous at 7-5, but you know, it is what it is. You know, Tuck's coming. You know, at some point he's going to be coming. So,
and you better watch out.
Yeah,
this will be a big load.
He's been holding it a while, so I will say their new like football building. I think that's what it was. It looks pretty cool.
That is cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is with Michigan State, like for me, is a lot of Michigan fans hate Michigan State. And I get it. They're indifferent to me until they start talking. Like, and it's just like, all right.
So like, until it interferes on your preconceived notion of dominance, it doesn't bother you.
No, Michigan. I mean, hey,
don't
Michigan
invade
State,
my thoughts of us being superior, or else it makes me mad.
No. I've never been a fan of the little brother thing. I don't know. I've just never been a huge fan of it. I mean, Michigan State fans had every right to talk, for a good 10 years, especially when for so long you were known as the second school. You know what I mean? I'm not taking a dig. That was just
100%.
Yeah, no, you're not.
You know, so it's just.
And we grew up in that time where every kid, if you're a State fan, every kid you knew who liked Michigan never let you live it down.
Right.
Ever. There was during football season, there was hardly a day. So yeah, you got to a point where it was like, oh, now we're good.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Take us, Kirk. Take us.
Let us fly,
Please, Kirk. Let us fly. Throw it to Keith Nickel.
The one stat that I'm going to bring up again is that Mel Tucker is 6-8 in away games at MSU. There was, since their loss at Purdue in 2021, they're 1-7. Losses to Iowa, Penn State, Purdue, OSU, Washington, Maryland, Michigan, Penn State. So he's really going to need to turn that around as far as if they want to be successful. I know you'll probably get into it. I don't know who their quarterback is right now.
Noah Kim.
Keaton Hauser's pushing.
I was going to say, that's the projected starter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you assume it's Kim. Hauser's definitely pushing, though. From what I've read, I mean, who knows? I haven't watched anything live since the green and white game, where Keaton Hauser looked bad in the spring game. Keaton Hauser looked bad in the spring game. Noah Kim looked all right. Peyton Thorne was there at the time also.
Right.
But yeah, you would assume it's Noah Kim right now.
Yeah, at the moment.
So I have them at 7, like I said, 7-5, it could be 5-7. I also have them beating Washington. I just don't see what the appeal is to Washington. I just, you know what I mean? Even when Michigan State played them, well, it was last year, right? They're playing a home and home.
Mhm.
It was still out in the West Coast. I don't know. I think it's going to be a different game this year. I guess we'll see. I don't know. 7-5. I got them at 7-5. I'm going to stick with it.
It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, going into it, them losing Peyton Thorne and Keon Coleman, their top wide receiver, going into this year, there's obviously a ton of questions on offense. Obviously the defense needs to improve. They were 101st in the nation last year on defense. I think they got one transfer of note that I know of. That was a guy from Texas A&M. Tamiz Adelaide. I mean, we'll see. Maybe that. I mean, it doesn't hurt.
He's
to
a guy to
SEC,
watch.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have SEC type talent on your team anywhere. So that should help. The secondary is young, so the defense. I mean, you're hoping that improvements have been made, progression amongst the players. You got a new quarterback, regardless of who wins the job, whether that be Hauser or Kim. I know Kim. They said Kim last year was always pushing Thorne for the starting job. I don't know if that's true. That's just. I mean, I hope so. I hope that's true that he was giving him real competition to Thorne last year. But so yeah, Kim only threw 19 passes last year, so there's not a lot of plays to really analyze his game at all. I mean, I guess we'll just have to find out. Hoping Jalen Berger progresses a little bit more this year. He rushed for over 600 yards last year. I mean, I think he's our top offensive threat coming back as of right now. Probably in general. They got a couple of transfers to that running back room. We'll see. Maybe competition will boost them up. Maybe we can get another K9 action. You know what I mean? That'd be sweet.
Oh yeah,
we need it.
We need some K9 action.
O-line is returning a bunch of veterans on the O-line. Should be solid. So I do have them going 4-2 through the first 6 weeks, losing to Washington and Iowa. And then in the following weeks, I have them going 2-4 with losses to Michigan, at Minnesota, losing to Ohio State, and then losing to Penn State in week 12. So as of right now, I have them going 6-6. Best case scenario, maybe they go 7-5. I'm having them. They lost on my guesses. I have them losing to Washington in week 3. Yeah. But I have them beating Nebraska in week 9. So 6-6. I think that's fair. I think that's fair for them. If not, maybe a little nice, depending on what happens. We'll see. Big Ten's not an easy conference, as you know.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I'm not too far off from you there, man. I mean, they should have been returning their top QB, wide receiver, and running back coming into this year. And right now we're just bringing back Berger, the running back, which I got high hopes for, as you alluded to, over 600 yards rushing last year. And the transfers to go with. So we'll see. Nathan Carter from UConn, Mangham, the older brother of the younger Mangham, coming in from USF. And I'm not hurt by Thorne leaving.
No.
Not really. Coleman stings because he could have been super helpful.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see what Noah Kim's got going. I'd like to see what Caden Hauser's potentially got going if Noah Kim ain't doing it. we'll see what happens, man. I mean, Peyton Thorne left, he got hurt against Western. He got that hit. And he was saying he got hurt a lot. But at the same time, he had the opportunities. And if you go by just the numbers and the stats, Michigan State, they were the 4th best in the Big Ten in sacks allowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which now, granted, you can throw out of sacks. You can make plays with your legs, which Thorne was pretty good sometimes making plays with his legs.
A lot, essentially.
But it was still 4th best,
right,
in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the quarterbacks in the Big Ten can make moves at least as well as Peyton Thorne. So I should have looked up what JJ McCarthy had, where they ranked, and it was probably top 3. But if it wasn't, that would have been funny because he moves better than Peyton Thorne, obviously.
Yeah.
So looking further, obviously the pass catchers are going to have to step up. Malik Carr going to have a big year. Trey Mosley, Antonio Gates, hopefully looking like his pops, coming in there.
That'd be awesome. Love Antonio Gates.
As you alluded to, the defense was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious last year, 101st. And that's only up 10 spots from the year before where they were 111th.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You brought up Tunmis Adeleye. I think he's really a guy to watch. No Gloves Cal Halliday, Jacoby Windman. Those are both guys on our bunch of preseason award watch lists, which, give or take, whatever that means. Peyton Thorne was on a bunch of those last year. So, and we saw what happened. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Real quick. Did you say his first name's No Gloves?
That's what I call it. No Gloves Halliday. Cal Halliday, the linebacker for MSU. He doesn't wear gloves or tape or anything. He's just bare arm, bare hand kind of guy. Just straight up. He's a good player. He's on the Bednarik watch list, linebacker watch list, stuff like that. He's a solid player. He's on the watch list because you could watch him. Right? Like, we'll see what he does. But he's a good player. He's a good player.
Kim's on my watch list as well.
Yeah. He hasn't been on any acclaimed watch lists, but on the Dean watch list, he's there.
I'm a watch.
It's just crazy thinking about the secondary because it's such a far cry from the no-fly zone from like 2014 where you had Trey Waynes and Darquez Denard, and Curtis Drummond. So we got to have guys like Charles Brantley, Dylan Tatum take a big step, and Mangham, the younger brother, take a step too. So that being said, right now, I see them at 5-7. I could see them peaking at 8-4, honestly. And I'll get into why I think that. Right now I have a win at CMU, win at Richmond, losing to Washington, beating Maryland, lose to Iowa, win at Rutgers, lose to Michigan, lose at Minnesota, beat Nebraska, lose OSU, lose against Indiana, lose Penn State, and that would be 5-7. A lot of those games a good amount of those games could be flipped. The thing is here's what gets me, is that this season is incredibly reminiscent to me of 2021 preseason. Vegas has us right now at 4.5 as the over-under for wins for MSU. That's about what it was in 2021. Now, granted, we didn't know we were getting Kenneth Walker. We didn't know what we were going to get from Kenneth Walker. We knew we were going to get him.
Yeah. Didn't think we were going to get that out of him. That's for sure.
Clearly.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing a lot of sophomores and juniors this year, which is good because they got some time last year.
Yeah.
But I think the thing to say is that I've moved off from definite 5-7, 4-8 to 5-7 with I could see a realistic 8-4, 7-5. This is the first year that we're pretty much seeing all Mel Tucker guys now.
Yeah.
We're almost out of that. There's still some D'Antonio guys around, but we're getting to all Mel Tucker guys. And D'Antonio used to say the bare minimum for this program is at least a bowl game, which is fair. I mean, people forget what it was like when D'Antonio walked out.
Yeah.
He phoned it in on the recruiting trail the last couple of years. We had basically a glorified MAC roster. No offense to our friends in the MAC, but if you're going to play in the Big Ten, you got to have a full Big Ten roster. And when Mel Tucker rolled in late February of the year he had to coach, we had 0 4-star recruits.
Yeah.
I mean, a rough go. I mean, like you can try to make it happen, but if you're in the division with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, those are 3 of your games every year, and you're bringing in 0 4-star recruits. You're gonna struggle, man.
Yeah.
And I loved Antonio for all the years he put in, but he left the cupboard incredibly dry, which is what it was such a surprise when what happened in 2021.
Right.
And why it's so reminiscent now, because there was very low expectations for that team coming in, and obviously we got a lot out of that squad. But MSU has no business not making a bowl game. While the athletic department puts us and tries to portray us and give us a second tier program, given the Kevin Warren stuff we talked about before, laying down for the Big Ten every time we get a chance. We're giving up a home game to Ford Field, which could mean a bowl game at the end of the year to Penn State. Instead of making them come to East Lansing, we're going to go to Ford Field. I go to Michigan State in the country is a top 20 football school. Okay. It really is. And I go by some of the numbers here, man. I'm not just saying it just to say it. Now people would give us crap because
dude.
yeah, right. It's a top 20 program nationally. It really is. If I go by what I call my big 3, which is attendance, TV ratings, and revenue.
Okay.
Because that drives so many things to your school.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the donors. You have Matt Ishbia. You have a lot of donors who pay a lot of money to fund the school. People would say, "Oh, but yeah, your football complex, the new addition is named after a basketball coach." Well, guess what? Matt Ishbia donated $20 million, and he said it needed to be called the Tom Izzo Football Center. So if a guy who gives you $20 million says, I need 2 words on the building and that's all I'm asking you to do, then yeah, you just do that.
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy, right? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, obviously you have to do that, right? But
you have
like,
no choice.
why make it the football complex?
Because that was his coach.
And what other?
And he gave them $20 million. He could call it the Ass Izzo Football Complex, and that's what they would put on the wall because he gave them $20 million to do it.
And what football coach are you going to put up there?
Well, you could go Perlis or D'Antonio, but neither one of them coached Matt Ishbia.
Right. Right. It just
the basketball facilities are already top notch.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
So why they're not putting another 20 mil into a state-of-the-art basketball facility?
Right.
He gave the school 32. They earmarked 20 for the football complex, and he said, "I just need it to be named the Tom Izzo football's part, whatever that extension was." Right. That was literally his only ask. So if he gives you 20 mil and he says, "I want it Tom Izzo,"
right.
Yeah. From an outsider's perspective, they're like, "Oh, it's the basketball and it's the football thing," but whatever, dude. He gave 20 mil. Like that's how it works in every college in the nation.
Yeah.
If that's just how it would go.
Right.
If a donor gives you 30,
I get it, but it is.
They want to name Purdue's football extension the Matt Painter Football Room, and somebody gives them $30 million to do it. They're going to name it the Matt Painter Football Room.
the Gene Katie.
The Gene Katie. You know, I just saw
Gymnastics.
Tom Izzo is like doing some introduction for Gene Katie at something. Or he's giving some kind of thing. Yeah, I thought that was kind
Is
of funny.
Gene Katie still alive?
That's what made me pause and said it was something. Because I thought it was like an introduction, but I'm like, he don't look like the picture I saw didn't look like the Gene Katie you remember from the sidelines. I mean, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But when I go into the big three, when I said attendance, ratings, revenue, they're top 20 in all those things. They're number 20 actually in attendance. And I'm just talking about last year. I'm not even talking about when we're making the playoff and the Rose Bowl and all that stuff. They were 20th in attendance last year. They were 17th in TV ratings in the country last year. And they're 12th in revenue. Like they're a top 20 national program. There's no business not making a bowl game.
You're not wrong.
And people complain about Mel Tucker. I would too. Guess what? Hey, if they don't make a bowl game, I'm not saying he's going to get fired because he's not. He's not going to get fired after this year. Unless they go 0 or 1 win, 2 wins. Then it would be close. But heads are going to roll for sure. Scotty Hazelton, first guy gone. Guaranteed. They do it again, then he's gone. Then Mel Tucker's gone. He has to be. It's too big of a money-making situation for Mel Tucker to be at the head of it and not at least make a bowl game. You just break it down that way. And people complained when they paid him the money. But I'll tell you what, I hear old guys every single season that, especially when Michigan State doesn't do well, how we let Nick Saban walk out the door because we wouldn't pay him money in 1999 when LSU took him. Guess what? LSU was looking to take the next guy. It didn't work out. They paid him the money they had to pay. And people complain, but MSU hardly paid any of the money anyway. Right. It was all donors that paid the massive contract pretty much. So like, who cares? It's not your cash. And like we talked about previously, they're getting 60 million almost from the Big Ten already. You know, this is a very lucrative situation, plus more money when you make big bowl games, let alone a bowl game at all. So when I go down that road, it gets me going, man. Michigan State, I predict them at 5-7. I could easily see them at 8-4. Given that it's all Tucker guys now, he's recruited way better than D'Antonio did when he left. At least as far as how much stock you want to put into those star ratings and whatever, he's done easily a lot better than D'Antonio's last couple of years. So we're going to see pretty much his team now, plus the transfers, and we'll go from there. But not making a bowl game at minimum it's just not acceptable. Not at a school that's a top 20 program. In those big three things, plus the other bowl games. What's that?
So you gonna cry right now?
I might, dude. I'll tell you what.
He's got a little.
I'll tell you what, man. It does get me going.
If I'm gonna shed a tear,
because I've been at the bottom with these guys.
Yeah,
we've been down there.
No.
And D'Antonio did something that we didn't even think was possible. Then Mel Tucker came in. Yeah. We had a rough COVID year. And then the year after that, magic. It's because everything is at MSU that you need to succeed. There's nothing holding you back. That's what I'm saying. There is no real reason you're being held back. It's not an academic standard. It's not a money situation. It's not an audience situation. Everything is there. So you got to do it. And if you're not doing it, they better have the nuts to kick these guys out.
Agreed.
That's all.
All right.
Sports talk. That's all.
Well, good stuff. Good stuff.
They have that good stuff. I like that.
That's that good one.
So we have some would you rathers for tonight. I feel like I got some pretty good ones. Dean, you can go ahead and start with yours.
All right. So I got two. One's
And that's today's episode. You guys have a good night.
Hey,
I'll start with the sports one. So would you rather retire as a forgotten coach with a winning record or a famous coach known to lose championships?
So kind of like Rick Carlisle.
Well, he won one
won
with Dallas, though.
Oh yeah, he did win one with Dallas.
Example would be like Flip
Doug
Saunders.
Collins.
Flip Saunders.
Flip Saunders good. Doug Collins, I think, is good too.
Doug Collins is a good one too. It's an example.
He
So
had
like you
MJ.
made it to conference championships, but you never won the conference championship.
Beeline.
Well,
Man. Good coach. They just never finished the job.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you're going to vacate a championship, I feel like the team that played in that championship should be a champion.
Beeline?
When Michigan lost to
Louisville.
Louisville in the national championship, and then they had to vacate the national championship.
Yeah.
I'm just saying someone has to be champion. Yeah, Beeline's a good one. Great coach, though.
Let's give him.
Great coach. Excellent coach.
So I either get to be a forgotten coach or a dude that couldn't get it done.
A forgotten coach with a winning record, but yeah, or a guy that's known to lose the big one, essentially.
Oh.
But either way, you've never won a champ. You'll never win a championship on both sides.
Oh, I'm a loser.
Loser.
Well, then I might as well. Oh man. I'm gonna go with the second one. I'm gonna go with never could win the big one.
Because at least you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the easy answer. I really do. To me, at least I got there. I lost, and you're probably still going to make the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Right.
You
Depending
know?
on how many you make, yeah.
And I don't know what your winning record is. Is it 200 and
Wait.
199? You know, I mean,
Well, you're
That's pretty
making
forgotten.
conference championships.
are we a
regularly.
Division II?
Like it's
are
like
we-
it's like your Flip Saunders with the Pistons. Like you made 6 in a row, but you didn't win the championship
For the title
Or
guy.
for 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the other guy.
Oh, the other
above
one.
500 guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Am I like the
Winning record.
coach at DePaul and I had a 400 and 350 record?
That's what I'm saying. The winning, you'd be like Flip Saunders with the winning record. Because he didn't make one.
Aren't they both
NBA
the same guy?
championship.
Isn't Flip Saunders
Essentially,
also the
yeah.
guy who didn't win the championship?
He's
I'm like,
but he's
that's
a
where I'm
better-
confused. I'm like,
He's a
isn't it
better
the same?
example of somebody that's won a lot but never did it. Whereas, like, I don't really know a coach that made a bunch but that's known for losing, though.
Well, that'd be Flip
Losing the
Saunders
big
because
one.
they went.
Who's
to
the Buffalo Bills head coach? Levy?
Oh, the 4
Marv Levy.
straight Super
Yeah,
Bowls.
Marv Levy, yeah.
Oof, yeah, that's a good one. That guy.
Would you rather be Marv Levy or
I'd still say Flip Saunders. He made the one NBA
Shaka Smart? I
championship.
mean, I don't know. You know, that guy's got a positive winning record,
Yeah.
you know, and
You
he's
have a really
well
good
liked.
winning
He
record.
might be the next MSU coach, man. I could see that.
You have like a Joe Paterno winning record.
There's some big
Well,
losses in there. Well,
but you know what I mean. Historically, for historical,
historically,
But he's not
that'd
a
be your
forgotten
winning
coach.
record.
historically,
like
I'd
your
say
winning
his
record.
record is pretty touchy.
I'm not saying you Joe Paterno. I'm saying you just have a really good winning record. It's not like a 1-win winning record. No, I think that was
Gotcha. It's solid.
It was dusty.
Like 400 and 250 or
something like that. Yeah. Like you were a good coach
at a Division I program.
Yes, or MBA or whatever.
So it's like you just did really great in the season, and then you just lost in the first round of the tournament. or
like conference champ, Elite Eight, whatever. You always made it deep, but you never could make
if you got that far, people would be like, oh, he just couldn't win the big one. So then you're into the second realm. Because you make the Elite Eight, dude, you're pretty damn close.
Close.
You got to lose in the first round. For your
okay, whatever you want.
I'm trying to really get it specific because it matters.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I'm making the Elite Eight and have a great above 500 record,
okay, you're not making the Elite Eight.
Then I'll take that guy. I'll take 16. That guy.
Whatever you want.
I mean, the highest you can go is round of 32.
Well, it doesn't have to be college. That's the idea. It doesn't have to. If you're going to do college, then sure, the friggin' Sweet 16. Jeez, I'm Pete's.
Sweet 16, I'll take that.
Okay, all right. Winning record, Sweet 16.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I would also go with the winning record.
Stressing this guy out.
I don't want to. I'm freaking sweating now. Man.
I thought they both have winning records.
They should. Yeah, they should both have really good winning records.
Anyway, so my other one is. That's enough of this, dear Lord.
But the moniker, you're saying like the moniker associated with you is that you couldn't win a championship.
Yes, you're known to lose the championship.
And then
the other one,
do you want to be known as
forgotten? You're
never being able to
coach.
Win it, or just being a really good coach?
Yes, essentially, yes. In a nutshell, yes.
Okay.
I would go with the really good coach, personally.
When it's laid out like this, I would be the really good coach that makes the Sweet 16.
You don't have to make the fucking Sweet 16. I don't know how many times I'm going to explain
this. All right, what's your second one?
My other one is would you rather eat the oldest thing in like we've all worked in like nasty factories and stuff like that before. Mm-hmm. The oldest thing in the factory refrigerator, which has like fuzz on the top of it, mm-hmm. or clean that same factory, dirty bathroom, clean the factory bathroom like toilets with 1-ply toilet paper. And you can't like fold it over. It has to just be the one thin layer of. So as soon as you touch, it's just immediately wet.
You're just rubbing off toilet with your hands.
Yeah, it's just your hands.
And somebody blew it up.
How much food are we talking? Is this like somebody's full lunch?
No, like a Tupperware, like an old spaghetti. You know what I mean?
You gotta eat the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta eat the whole thing.
Now, is this spaghetti making the Sweet 16 or?
No, you forgot about this spaghetti.
Is it really good spaghetti or
the toilet is famous, spaghetti? Right? So you're always known to clean.
How just the one? You have to clean the toilet the one time.
Yes, because you only have to eat the food the one time, so you only got to clean. But it's like all the toilets in the bathroom. Oh, so however many toilet. With the 1-ply paper.
You're doing the toilet.
Hand, yes.
Yeah. Essentially with your hands.
I'm gonna.
I mean, you might as well just get rid of the 1-ply, because that's nothing. That's gonna disintegrate as soon as you put it into the water, dude. That's gone.
Yeah.
I just picture there's like poo all over the bottom of the seat, and you just have to 1-ply it off.
Oh.
So it's either get food poisoning. Or
how did
throw
all
up a
that
lot.
poo end up on the bottom of the seat?
You'd be surprised.
I mean, I've cleaned some. I had to clean the truck stop bathrooms a few times. I never saw that.
Really?
Poo
Dude.
like caked all around the toilet
Well,
seat.
like splatter spots. I'm not talking. Dude, one time when I worked at Denny's, there's a little space between the wall and the toilet, and some lady couldn't make it, and she pooped between the wall and the toilet, and on top of the toilet, and to the side of the toilet, and in it. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen in my entire life.
No doubt.
That was a bad moons over Miami.
And I one ply toilet papered that baby up, and I scooped it.
That was my
No
choice.
double folds. Yeah, not to spoil my choice for
I don't
anybody.
want to get spoiled. Here's a grand slam for you, jerk.
Dude, oh man, that was rough. That was a rough night.
Bill, what are you choosing out of that?
I said the toilet.
You're definitely
Clean the
going toilet.
with his hands.
I
Yeah.
said the toilet. Okay, got
I said the
it.
toilet.
I said the toilet.
Oh man.
All right. I just hadn't decided yet. That's What about you, Dean? What are you choosing?
I'm probably just gonna eat the mold, man. I'm not cleaning poop with my hands. I couldn't
But
do it.
how sick are you gonna be
Well,
for days?
whoever's gonna have to clean that toilet after I'm done eating the mold is gonna not be happy. There's gonna be puke. There's gonna be.
Can you heat up the spaghetti or?
Sure, yeah, you can heat it up. It doesn't have to be spaghetti. It could be whatever. Penne pasta, chicken Alfredo, the light little fuzz.
The grand slam that was made after the toilet cleaning. This wasn't even a choose my own grand slam.
Actually, it could even be like a 3-week-old McDouble that's been sitting in there. You know, it doesn't make any changes. It's gonna be hard as a rock.
You know, it's not good for you. I'll take the 3-week McDouble.
Oh, you'll take the
No,
3-week McDouble.
I'll take a 3-week McDouble, and I get to heat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can heat it.
Yeah. No question.
No.
I don't know.
Crunchy.
No, you know what? I'd rather than that one ply situation, because you got to get inside the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
You're cleaning the toilet.
So like, all we got is this 1-ply toilet paper, and don't you double fold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
one layer. Don't waste the toilet.
yeah, but you can also keep flushing the toilet, so you have clean water.
What if it's
I
clogged?
mean, it's not gonna be clean for long. But
All right, if it's clogged, you get a plunger this big. You gotta dip your hands in.
you know what? Just give me the McDouble.
Just give me that 3-week-old McDouble.
No, I'm doing a toilet.
Oh man,
Dean.
I'm gonna eat.
He said he's doing the food.
whatever's in the fridge. Yeah,
He said I'm doing the food.
I didn't say it like that.
You said
Okay.
it like that.
All right, you ready?
I'm cleaning the toilet.
yeah. I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather, for a chance to meet Miguel Cabrera, eat a can of grated Parmesan cheese?
Yes.
Can?
The spaghetti, like the spaghetti topping cheese.
Oh, so just like okay, like a
Yeah.
regular Kraft Parmesan cheese
Yeah.
canister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a box of saltines, but you have no drink for either one of them. You just have to.
Man.
I mean, there's no time limit. You just have to get through it.
I thought about putting a time limit on it, but
Yeah, you give me 5 minutes to eat a sleeve of saltines. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
right. That's what I'm saying.
You
like,
you
it's
said a
gonna-
box too.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a box.
Box
yeah,
of
not even
saltines, yeah.
sleeve.
Yeah.
So
Oof, that's a lot.
I
of
think like
saltines.
what a couple hours might be fair for both even?
Yeah, that's fair.
What was the first one?
A can of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, putting down a can of Parm.
Yeah. Your mouth smells like stinky feet.
Hey, Miguel.
A can of Parm. Just taking a can
You have
of
to
Parm.
meet Miguel right after this is over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, 2,000.
You'd be like,
calories
those
worth of Parmesan
meals.
Hey, Miguel, I finally got to meet you, but I haven't taken a crap in a week.
I ate a can of Parm just to meet you, bro.
Ate a can of Parm, bro. Yeah. Like, did you say what you were picking?
Me? No.
Eddie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh,
I think I'm going
Probably-
saltines.
I was gonna say probably the saltines. That was
There's a lot of saltines, man.
and nothing to drink.
Nothing.
I mean, we're talking over a couple hours here. It would suck because you just
That is
be
a
parched.
That's four sleeves of saltines.
But dude,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a 12 to 16 ounce canister of Parm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just-
you're just
Dude, that would take me so like I don't love the Parm taste already.
Right.
Like it's average for me at best.
Yeah.
can I
I'll probably never have saltines again.
just straight?
But-
I can't like dip them in peanut butter or nothing.
No, it's straight up.
You want it
Ketchup.
drier?
You just like,
Can I also choke? 45 minutes into this, can I choke to death or no? 'Cause I'd rather die than finish this box of
I got
saltines.
I got this peanut butter stuck in my throat. I better wash it down with more saltines. That'll push it down. That'll push it down the rest of the way.
Hopefully some saliva will kick up and I'll mush these
Oh man.
teens.
so everyone was saltines.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, I don't think I could just eat a canister of Parm.
I could probably do the Parm, but
Oh man.
I don't hate the taste of it. I like it, but I don't know if I like it that much.
A graze of Parm over like a nice Italian dish? Yeah. A graze. If I'm excessive Parm, that's all I'm tasting. It's not for me.
It's fair.
Okay. All right. Next one. Would you rather be born in 1600 knowing what today's advancements are, or get stuck at every red light for your entire life?
You want me to go ahead and clear this out for us real quick or no? Or you guys want to answer?
Well, I'll just start by saying if I was to go back to 1600 with all the knowledge that we have today, I wouldn't be able to invent any of it. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. It wouldn't make any difference at all.
No,
I'd
what
just
I'm
be
saying is, yeah, exactly. That's essentially what happens. Like, you can't do anything about it. Like, you just know,
Oh, you
like,
just
what
know.
today's life is, like air
Oh,
conditioning,
Oh,
more than one bucket of water,
am I
deodorant.
the same color? I mean,
That's the point I was gonna make.
1600s. Yeah,
Give me the red lights, bro,
that,
because
that's just give me the red lights for sure.
it's only gonna be more torture. Knowing that I could be free and in air conditioning.
No,
As opposed to,
Earthquake. Earthquake.
yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, historically, I think I'd just go with the red lights.
Unquestionably.
Unquestionably, yes.
Yeah.
I thought you
same
meant
here.
like go
Plus-
back and make a difference, and I'm like, I'm not smart enough to make any difference. Like Tigers made the World Series in 06. Like
he's like Biff and Back to the Future.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
this sports almanac here.
Okay. Yeah, I was the same way, red lights. Because you can
Sure.
always try to plan your life around not hitting red lights.
Here, I got a quick one for you.
Okay.
Did you have one more?
I have 3 more.
Oh, well, all right, never mind. You go.
What, is yours good?
I don't know.
We'll see.
It was just an extra.
Put it out there.
All right. Would you rather drive 5 minutes each way to work for an 8-hour workday, or drive 3 hours each way for a 2-hour workday for the same pay?
What
So
was the
that's
first
6
one?
hours of driving. It's a 5-minute drive,
Uh-huh.
but you work an 8-hour workday. So 10 minutes, 5 minutes to work, 5 minutes home, 8-hour workday. Or 3 hours to work, 2-hour workday, 3 hours home every day.
Is it what we're doing now?
I guess it can be. It's same pay.
Or like super hard physical labor?
You can make it an office setting. That's fine.
If it's what I'm doing now, yeah, I would love that because I would just have a 5-minute drive to work. I like my job, so.
If it's roofing in July, I'm good. I don't want to do that for 2 hours.
And when I say same pay, like you still get paid the same amount you would as if it was an 8-hour day. Like an 8-hour, you know what I mean? Like the 2 hours you're there is equivalent to 8 hours.
But I'm still spending 8 hours away. So
Right.
I'd rather just not spend the money on gas. I mean, essentially, you're getting a raise by not driving the 3 hours there and back.
True.
That's true. I didn't think of it that way.
I drive an hour to work. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm only 2 hours shy of your situation.
So 6-hour commute, essentially.
Yeah. Moderate
Or-
traffic, not heavy.
Pretty good traffic, though, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like to work. And I don't mind driving. Screw it. We'll take the 3-hour commute. Let's go.
Hey, if work's providing me a car or something and like gas, then yeah, I would definitely do that instead.
I didn't say that.
I know.
Oh, I'm paying for the gas, baby.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Until I'm tired of doing it.
That's a ton of cash.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot
yeah.
of money.
You bought yourself a Hummer that year.
What a terrible investment I made. I don't make that
I got
much
this
money,
new
actually.
job.
Yeah.
I only have to work 2 hours a day and I make the same amount.
But I have to spend anything else in gas.
I've spent $1,000 every 2 days on gas.
I feel pretty lucky. I get 10 miles to the gallon, so it could be worse.
Oh,
All right. Next one. Would you rather stub your toe once a month at random for a year, or a deep paper cut 4 times at random for a year?
How many times am I stubbing my toe?
Once a month.
Once a
That's
month.
12.
Or get
Or
cut 4 times?
4
paper
deep
cut.
paper cut. Deep.
Ooh.
just random throughout the year.
Random.
Man. I used to get paper cuts a lot. Deep.
I mean,
ones
we're
when I worked in the
talking-
warehouse. Oh, dude, they would hurt. Yeah, they would. Yeah, they'd be deep.
It's only 4 times though, but they're
Oh, they suck. Yeah. Stub my toe though. That sucks too.
Yeah.
Once a month. So 12 times 12 times
For the year, yeah.
Ugh. Is it the same toe 12 times?
Yes.
I guess I'm taking the paper cuts and just wrap a Band-Aid on it. It's gonna suck, but I've done it before. In fact, when I was working in the warehouse, I think I got like 30 deep paper cuts. So 4 would be a nice little discount year.
Yeah, I think so. I think I go with the 4 paper cuts.
Oh man, I just feel the paper cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great.
But it is just like a quick
yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't even feel it and then it just starts bleeding and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right, last one. You're meeting your celebrity crush. Would you rather
Barry Sanders.
Sure.
Barry Bonds.
That makes it even
2006 Barry Bonds.
I want him fully roided.
Would you rather smell like BO and be
Mm.
topless, or meet them bottomless?
So they're gonna smell BO either way.
Oh no.
Sorry, it was a long drive over.
I have a 6-hour commute.
I got a 6-hour
Shit, it's been marinating.
I wear compression underwear and I fart a lot, so it's gonna be weird.
Just give me bottomless.
There's no
smell like BO.
There's no underwear.
I understand what bottomless means.
Porky pig in it.
Yeah. I mean, what's going to happen? I either smell terrible and I'm shirtless.
Right.
And they're going to be like, get away. Or I'm going to be Porky Pigging it and they'll be like, get away. At least I don't smell terrible.
But like, get away, but hey.
But the thing is, you
smell
probably
nice.
do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate smelling like BO.
Well, yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, but your celebrity crush gets to see
my itty bitty pecker.
Hey, maybe she'll be like, hey, I really am into those.
Give yourself
And you're so bold. You were so bold to show me yours that I think I'm going to take you home.
How did you know?
But with bad BO and shirtless, you got no shot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, bottomless. Because you're not wrong. If you smell like crap, you have no shot. At least bottomless is like, I'm just a stalker.
You have no stalker.
I just showed up like this. You're wearing a shirt and tie on top.
I wanted to dress nice for you.
And dress shoes with no socks. This is a weird.
I would go straight Porky Pig, and I would go like his outfit, like a little sailor.
or Daffy Duck or whatever. Or Donald.
Yeah.
Donald
Yeah.
Duck.
Yeah.
That's all, folks. Oh, that's a good one.
What about
All
you
right.
there, Jode?
Me? Jode.
Yeah.
I think I'd
Lucky.
How is it so wide?
I think I'd have to go.
It's like a plate.
Man, either way, they're going to be disappointed. So
It's going to be extremely disappointing on both
You
sides.
might as well go shirtless, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've
I've seen you on stage shirtless before.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was incredible.
It was incredible.
Yeah. I think
It was
I
a
go
rock
top.
that up. Yeah.
Because you can always say like I got done working out. I don't know.
I just got.
I don't think she's gonna believe me. She's like, yeah, I can
Doing the
totally
old
tell.
peck pop.
It just jiggles.
Yeah.
You're moving it with your hands.
I just have to flip myself.
Watch
Do the
this
Terry
lady.
Crews thing. Just juggling them back and forth.
And you stink, dude.
You stink.
So you just
That's when you get arrested.
See, they might not notice the bottomless at first. They just in a mid conversation looking, where are you going?
Wait, are you not wearing underwear? Just incredibly short shorts, that's all.
Oh man. All right.
Oh,
I think that'll do it for tonight. So thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate you. Again, if you like today's episode, hit the like button. If you don't, comment to us. Let us know what we can do to make you like us. And then hit the like button anyway. Please.
It costs you nothing.
Look at my face. Look at my face.
Just hit the like button. Like, what is it hurting you? It does nothing. Just do it.
Oh man. All right.
It takes 2 seconds from now. It'll be over.
Please subscribe.
Just how much is that gonna cost you? Just hit subscribe.
Oh man.
I know you're there. Just subscribe.
All right, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next week where we're going to do season preview for Eastern Michigan. We'll talk about the Lions after they play Jacksonville. So everyone have a good week. We'll see you next one. Have a good
The
one.
like button.
Sports Talk.